Hello everyone, it's Dr. Saru. I'm really glad that you guys have joined me again. It's been a long while since we got talking, and today's episode is an outdoor episode. It feels good, it's sunny, it's great, and the weather is amazing. So, today's topic is about jaundice. I would like to talk to you guys and explain, especially neonatal jaundice, as in jaundice in babies. And when you mean neonatal jaundice, it means a baby who's from birth to around 28 days, not around to 28 days. That is the neonatal period. So, yes, let's start by describing what is jaundice. Jaundice is a yellowish discoloration of the mucosa and the sclera. Sclera meaning the white area of the eye, the white part of the eye. So when that part becomes yellow, or you're seeing the skin is yellow, or you're seeing maybe mucous membrane, you could see maybe the mouth or the tongue is also turning yellow, then that means your baby is jaundiced. And there are types of jaundice. There is physiological jaundice and there is pathological jaundice. So for physiological jaundice, it's supposedly not harmful and normally occurs within the first 24 hours when the baby is born. It's supposed to clear on its own within 2 to 3 days. But for pathological jaundice, which means there is some disease process that is making the baby turn yellow, it happens after 24 hours, and mostly it happens after the third day of life, and that needs to be investigated and treatment needs to be done. So let's talk about this. What is it? The physiological jaundice. What are the possible causes, or what has been postulated to have been bringing about this physiological jaundice? One is this thing called okay. You see, when a baby is born, everything previously when they were in the uterus, the mother or the placenta was cleaning out or clearing out any dirt, if we are to use that terminology. So basically, by the time the baby is born, most of the organs that he or she has were not being in use. So let's take for example the liver, which is the one that is supposed to be taking care of clearing bilirubin, which is the thing that causes the yellowing. The liver is still immature, one, so it might take some time before it gets into the progress of actually doing that whole clearing business. Two, could be the enzymes are still also not kicking in to start clearing or doing the whole process of clearing or taking out bilirubin. So the bilirubin levels might be a bit slightly high. And then the other thing, which is quite common, with when a baby is born, they normally have a high levels of RBCs, that is red blood cells. So they tend to kind of break down during those first 24 hours. So it happens, bilirubin is actually a byproduct of degradation of RBCs. So when there is high turnover of RBCs, then clearly there's going to be lots of the bilirubin levels, which the liver will be trying to work on clearing. So other than that, it's not supposed to be scary, but you could always ask your physician or your doctor, the person who helped you with the delivery, and it should be done. So the other thing is, you're normally advised to take the baby out so that they bask in the sun. It helps with clearing of the bilirubin in some ways. So let's talk about the pathological causes. I would want you. Let's talk about the causes of pathological jaundice. So pathological jaundice manifestation normally occurs after 24 hours, as I earlier told. With the causes of pathological jaundice, as I said earlier, there must be a disease process that is causing the lead to the high bilirubin levels. There are things called hemolytic diseases of the newborn, which is when the RBCs or red blood cells break down faster than it's supposed to, or maybe there's a problem or there's a disease which causes the RBCs to break down. So when they're breaking down, then there'll be high turnover of this bilirubin thing, and the bilirubin levels are definitely going to shoot up. So that is one, hemolytic diseases of the newborn. Then two, we have this thing called rhesus incompatibility. This is when a mother is of rhesus negative and the father was rhesus positive. So what happens with the subsequent pregnancies, not the first one. The first one, the baby normally is okay. There's normally not too much complication. But the second one, then it's because if most likely the baby gets to have the rhesus positive, the fathers, then the mother will be the baby's rhesus positive is going to be like attacking the negative because like an antigen which is not, they don't know each other. So the incompatibility normally causes breakdown of RBCs again, which will cause high levels of what is it called, of bilirubin levels, and the baby is going to be jaundiced. That is two. Three, also A or B incompatibility. As we know, there are blood groups, different types of blood group. There's A, there's B, and there's O. So also with the A or B incompatibility, you'll tend to have high levels of bilirubin again, and it's going to manifest as jaundice. I'll talk more about these incompatibilities in another video. So just keep tuned and stay in line and watch me more, maybe, and you're going to learn about the incompatibilities. So that is the third reason. The other cause that could cause jaundice, pathological jaundice, if there's any hepatic problem. Maybe the baby was born with a problem with the liver. So of course, if there's a problem with the liver, then there's going to be problems with clearing out the bilirubin. That is 4. 5. If there's deficiency of enzymes responsible for that cascade to happen the way it's supposed to happen, when the RBCs have broken down, and then how the bilirubin is supposed to be conjugated and how it's supposed to be taken off the body. If one of the enzymes is missing, there's enzyme deficiency anywhere along that cascade, it's going to manifest again as jaundice because bilirubin levels are going to be high. The other thing which could possibly cause high levels of bilirubin is infection, especially neonatal sepsis. With neonatal sepsis, it's mostly associated with high levels of bilirubin at times. And then there's something called breastfeeding jaundice and breast milk jaundice. These are two different things. I would want you to listen clearly. So for breastfeeding jaundice, or it's also called starvation jaundice, is when especially for babies who are born at maybe 37 to 38 weeks, and the mother has not started producing enough milk. It so happens that when the baby lacks the milk, at times they manifest with jaundice. So it's not something that should scare you. That's why I'm saying whenever you see your baby turning yellow, it's good. You should not start asking your neighbor or another mother what they did about their baby. You should go to your physician or your pediatrician. They'll give you better guidance on what to do with your baby, because every case is normally unique and every cause is different from the next baby to the other one. So that is breast milk or starvation jaundice. And then there's another one called breast milk jaundice. This is when the baby has enough milk. They're breastfeeding just fine, but then they get to have the jaundice. Reason being, the breast milk has some factors that makes the absorption of the bilirubin in the intestine more easy. So it's like it happens, it's taking in. Instead of excreting the bilirubin, it's being taken back to the system. So when it's being taken back to the system, it so happens the levels are high again, and you have jaundice. And the other cause for breast milk jaundice would be the breast milk having factors that are making the enzymes not to work the appropriate way they're supposed to be working. So again, if the enzymes are being hindered to work the way they're supposed to, then we're going to have high levels of bilirubin, and jaundice is going to be the manifestation. You'll ask, is it okay? Mama so and so told me that her baby had jaundice. They took the baby out to the sun and the jaundice disappeared. So my baby too has it. I'm going to do the same thing. I don't need to take them to the hospital. Or maybe I asked in a group and mothers told me this. Or maybe I just consulted over the phone with the doctor and they told me, it's fine. This thing normally disappears. Please don't do that, because as I told, every baby is different and you do not know. Then you cannot check, you as a parent without any medical information and check the baby and assume then these levels are just okay for me to take the baby to the hospital, or I know the reason as to why the baby is having jaundice. So it's always good you seek medical help. There's different ways to treat. One, which is phototherapy. Uh, some babies don't need the phototherapy depending on the levels. There's another thing called exchange transfusion, which could be done when the levels are extremely very high. So I want you to take it seriously because there are complications involved with this. One being the baby can get can have retardation, because if it so happens that the bilirubin levels are so high that they get to pass and go into the brain, when the other element, the bilirubin, then there's this thing called kinetitis, which just means basically bilirubin having gone to the brain. It can cause the baby to have mental retardation and other cascades of events, because the brain will have been involved, which we would not want, and is something that can easily be managed if taken seriously and if seen by the right person, instead of asking just anyone, instead of taking it really serious. I know I've repeated myself so much because I really wanted to put an emphasis. Neonatal jaundice is something you see commonly at the hospitals, and it's something really manageable if it's started early and the cause is known. So yeah, mothers out there, please take care of the little ones. They're just 8 days old, and we'd want them to grow and be big babies and be something in our community. So yes, that was today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, I'll still post this link on Facebook. You can get it there, or I also write notes, as I always do on Facebook. You can get it on Dr. Faris link here. And yeah, keep the questions coming in case you have any. It was nice sharing with you. I hope you enjoyed our setup for the outdoor, and see you next time. God bless you. Love and love.